Okay, so you want to be a pharmacy lecturer.
Well, like trading prescriptions for professorships, right?
Yeah.
And you've given us like the ultimate guidebook here.
This career guide, pharmacy lecturer, looks like it's got all the answers.
Yeah.
But we've got something even better.
Okay.
We've got context.
I like it. All right. So
Let's do it.
let's dive in.
Let's do it.
All right. So you want to be a pharmacy lecturer. It's one thing to kind of like tick all the boxes on the job description, right?
Yeah.
It's another thing to really understand why those things matter.
Okay.
Why is research and publishing so important?
Yeah.
It's not just about adding lines to your CV.
Right.
It's about staying at the forefront of your field.
Right.
That's credibility that you bring into the classroom.
Oh, that's such a good point.
You're not just teaching what we already know.
Exactly.
You're showing them how we learn new things.
Yes.
How that knowledge is made.
Absolutely.
I love that.
So, yeah, very important. Speaking of staying ahead of the curve, this guide mentions continuous learning, and it sounds intense.
It is.
Conferences, new research, always some new innovation popping up.
Yeah, and that's the exciting part, isn't it?
Okay.
The pharmacy field, it's constantly evolving,
Mm-hmm.
which means that you as a lecturer,
Yeah.
you're constantly learning and growing.
Right.
You're not just teaching the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
You're learning alongside them in a way.
That's so...
You're a lifelong student yourself.
You got it. I love it. Okay, before we get too caught up in all the excitement here,
Yeah.
let's break down the actual path.
Okay.
The guide lays out this pretty clear trajectory.
Starting with a teaching assistant position,
Right.
what does that actually look like day to day?
Okay, so imagine this.
Okay.
You are assisting lecturers
Okay.
with prepping materials.
Maybe even like
Yeah.
getting creative with how to make those really complex
Yeah.
concepts
Yeah.
stick.
Right.
You're supporting students during labs,
Yeah.
which means troubleshooting in real time.
Yeah.
And you're honing those analytical skills while grading assignments.
Right.
It's hands-on experience
Wow.
in every sense of the
It's
word.
like an apprenticeship.
It is.
But for academia,
Yes, exactly.
very much so.
That's so cool. And then you move up the ranks,
Right.
eventually becoming a junior lecturer.
That's right. And at that level, you're not just assisting anymore, you're leading.
Oh, wow.
You are designing.
Delivering entire courses,
Wow.
which means thinking critically about how to engage students
Right.
and inspire a love of learning.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It is.
And it's also about mentoring
Yeah.
those eager teaching assistants.
Guiding them, just like you were guided.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it's very rewarding.
This guide emphasizes that a PhD in pharmacy is often expected at this stage.
Yes.
Along with teaching certifications.
Talk about a commitment to education.
Absolutely.
Wow. But the learning doesn't stop there, does it?
It never does.
What does it take to reach the peak?
A senior pharmacy lecturer.
Okay, so picture this.
Yeah, okay.
You're coordinating entire courses, overseeing research projects,
Wow.
maybe even collaborating.
With industry professionals
Oh, wow.
on cutting-edge pharmaceutical advancements.
That's incredible.
You're not just shaping the minds of future pharmacists, you're potentially shaping the future of the field itself.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible position to be in.
Now, the guide also mentions that while a PhD is often like a requirement for lecturing,
Mm-hmm.
practical experience is just as important.
Oh, absolutely.
They even suggest seeking out internships,
Part-time work.
volunteering, anything to get that hands-on experience
Yeah, you've got to bridge that gap.
between theory and practice.
Okay.
Let's say you spend some time working in a pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
You've seen firsthand how those drugs are developed,
Mhm.
tested, and brought to market.
Right.
That's invaluable insight
Totally.
that you can bring back to the classroom
Mhm.
and share with your students.
It's like adding real-world color to those textbook concepts.
Absolutely.
And speaking of standing out,
Yes.
the guide also stresses the importance of showcasing your expertise
Mhm.
beyond just what's on your CV.
They're talking publications, conferences,
Yes.
even building a professional portfolio.
Sounds like personal branding is key,
It is.
even in academia.
It really is.
Wow.
It's about becoming a known entity.
An expert voice
Right.
that people trust.
Right.
Imagine you published a few well-received research papers
Okay.
on, say, a new drug delivery system.
Okay.
Now you're not just applying for a lecturing position.
You are the expert
I like it.
on drug delivery systems.
You're the go-to.
You're the one everyone wants on their team.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
like it.
So yeah, it's not just about what you know. It's about showing what you know.
Show, don't tell, right?
Exactly.
And making it stand out.
Okay, now let's talk about how to actually land this dream job. That's where RoleCatcher comes in.
Right?
Huh.
This platform sounds like a game changer.
for navigating those often intimidating academic job applications.
Absolutely. Especially in the age of AI-powered recruitment tools,
Oh, yeah.
these systems can be a bit of a mystery.
Right.
But RoleCatcher seems to crack the code
Okay.
when it comes to making your application stand out.
Okay, so let's break it down.
Okay.
How does it work?
It's all about keywords.
And algorithms.
Okay.
Let's say a university is looking for a pharmacy lecturer with experience in good clinical practice.
Okay.
Now, you might know all about GCP.
Right.
Maybe you even have a certification.
Right.
But if those keywords
Yeah.
aren't reflected in your CV,
The AI might just overlook your application entirely.
wait, so it's not enough to just have the experience you have to use the right language?
You've got to speak the AI's language.
To make sure the algorithms pick it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where RoleCatcher comes in.
Okay.
It analyzes job descriptions.
Identifies the key skills and keywords that matter most
Okay.
and helps you tailor your application.
To make sure you're speaking the AI's language.
So it's like having a translator, but for robots.
Exactly.
This is wild.
It is. It's a brave new world of job applications.
It really is.
It is.
So what I'm hearing is...
It's not just about impressing humans anymore.
Yeah.
You've got to impress the machines, too.
You do. You got to make sure that your application gets past the AI gatekeeper first.
That's wild. And RoleCatcher doesn't stop there.
No, it doesn't.
It can also help you analyze and tailor your responses
Yes.
to those really tricky application questions, you
Mhm.
know.
The ones like...
Tell us about a time you showed leadership.
Yes.
Describe a challenge you overcame.
Those questions always trip me up.
They're tough.
It feels like you need to have this perfectly scripted answer ready to go.
I know, it does, doesn't it?
But you don't want to sound like a robot.
Right.
Because the robots are already reading your application. You need to come across as genuine,
Right.
authentic.
Okay.
And that's where RoleCatcher can really help you.
Okay.
It breaks down those questions, identifies the core skills they're looking for,
Yeah.
and helps you craft responses that showcase those skills.
In a genuine and compelling way.
Okay, now that's impressive.
It's like having a brainstorming partner.
Who also happens to be an expert in what makes an application stand out.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
There you go.
I love it.
Right.
But let's get back to the career guide for a moment.
Okay.
It actually provides real-world examples
Yes, it does.
of what to expect at each stage of a pharmacy lecturer's career path.
Right.
Starting with that teaching assistant role.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of insights can we get from those examples?
Well, one that really stood out to me was a teaching assistant who talked about the importance of clear communication.
Okay.
They were tasked with helping students understand a particularly complex concept
Right.
in pharmacokinetics. You know how the body absorbs, distributes, and eliminates drugs?
Right, of course.
And they realized that just repeating the textbook definition, it just wasn't clicking with
Really?
the students.
Yeah.
So they came up with this really creative analogy.
Yeah.
Using a sponge and a bucket of water
Yeah.
to visually represent the concept.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's all about finding creative ways
Yes.
to make those complex ideas stick.
Exactly.
It reminds me of that old saying, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough.
Exactly. And that kind of creativity and adaptability
Is absolutely essential for success as a pharmacy lecturer.
Yeah.
And as you progress to the role of pharmacy research assistant,
Okay.
the guide emphasizes the importance of building a strong foundation
Mm-hmm.
in research methodology and ethics.
Okay, so this is where that good clinical practice certification comes into play, right?
This is it.
The guide mentioned it earlier.
But I have to admit,
I'm not entirely sure what that entails.
okay, so it's all about ensuring that research involving human subjects is conducted ethically and responsibly.
Okay.
It involves things like obtaining informed consent,
Right.
protecting patient privacy,
Mm-hmm.
and ensuring the integrity of data collection and analysis.
So it's not just about the science itself,
No.
but also about the ethical considerations surrounding it,
Absolutely.
which makes a lot of sense,
It does.
especially in a field like pharmaceuticals,
Yeah.
where the stakes are so high.
Very high.
People's lives are on the line.
Absolutely.
You got it.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, very important.
And then as you move up
Yes,
to the role of junior pharmacy lecturer,
that's right.
the guide highlights the importance of balancing those
Hmm.
teaching responsibilities.
With your own research endeavors.
Yes, because you're going to have both.
Right.
You're going to be teaching and conducting your own research,
Wow.
which can be a juggling act,
Yeah, I bet.
but it's also incredibly rewarding.
I was just going to say, it sounds really rewarding. The guide's example of a junior pharmacy lecturer really brings this to life.
Okay.
They talk about like the thrill of publishing their first research paper,
Yes.
presenting their findings at a national conference.
Yes, it's a big deal.
It's like they're living proof
Mhm.
that you can be both
Right.
an educator and a researcher,
Absolutely.
contributing to the field
Mm-hmm.
while inspiring the next generation.
That's what it's all about.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's really cool to see that in action,
It is.
to see someone kind of living that dual role
Yeah.
and succeeding at it.
Yeah.
And that's something that really sets academia apart.
From other career paths,
Okay.
you have the opportunity to not just apply knowledge, but to create it,
I like it.
to push the boundaries of what we know
Right.
and
Yeah.
how we treat diseases.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So it's like you're contributing to the future
Absolutely.
of healthcare.
You got it.
Wow.
It's very exciting stuff.
And then as you reach that pinnacle, becoming a senior pharmacy lecturer,
Right.
the focus seems to shift a little bit
Yes, it does.
towards leadership and mentorship.
Exactly.
Because you've kind of climbed the ranks.
Right.
You've proven yourself
Yeah.
as a researcher
Yeah.
and as an educator.
Yeah.
And now it's your turn to give back,
Right.
to mentor the next generation.
Yeah.
The guide gives this really inspiring example of a senior pharmacy lecturer
Okay.
who's become a leading expert.
In antibiotic resistance,
Okay.
they're not just teaching students about the problem.
Right.
They are leading a team of researchers
Wow.
working to develop new antibiotics to combat this growing threat.
That's incredible.
They're also mentoring junior faculty,
Wow.
helping them navigate the challenges of academia.
And build their own research programs.
It's amazing to see how the role evolves over time,
Is
from supporting students in the classroom.
to potentially shaping the future of pharmaceutical research.
Absolutely.
It's clear that a passion for education, a commitment to lifelong learning,
Mm-hmm.
and a strong ethical compass are all essential for success.
Absolutely. Those are the key ingredients.
Wow.
They're essential. And let's not forget resilience.
Oh, that's a good one.
Academia can be a challenging field
Right?
with intense competition for funding publications,
Mhm.
even teaching positions.
Yeah.
So it takes a certain level of
Yeah.
grit and determination to succeed.
That's a really good point. And it's
Yeah.
something that the career guide touches on as well.
It does.
It reminds us that rejection is a part of the process
Mhm.
and that it's important to view setbacks as opportunities
Yes.
for growth and learning.
100%.
Right.
Every successful academic
Right?
has faced their share of rejection
Yeah.
along the way.
For sure.
It's how you learn from those experiences, dust yourself off,
Right.
and come back even stronger.
Mm.
That truly matters.
That's a good life lesson in general.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a valuable life lesson no matter what career path you choose.
Very true. So we've talked about the challenges, the rewards,
Yes.
the skills,
Yeah.
even the tools that can help you stand out.
In this competitive job market.
Yeah.
But I think one of the most important takeaways from all of this is finding your niche,
Yeah.
your area of expertise that really like ignites your passion.
Yes. Find something you love
Mm-hmm.
and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
course, it's always more nuanced than that.
Right.
But the sentiment holds true.
Yeah.
When you're genuinely passionate about something,
Mm.
it shows.
Yeah.
It fuels your research.
Right.
It energizes your teaching.
Yeah.
It inspires your student.
But like that passion becomes contagious.
It does.
I love it. And you mentioned earlier like the competitive nature of academia.
Yeah. It can be tough.
It can.
It can be really tough.
And it makes me think about those aspiring pharmacy lecturers out there,
Mm-hmm.
maybe feeling a little overwhelmed by it all.
Sure.
What advice would you give them?
I would say focus on what makes you unique,
Okay.
what makes you stand out,
Okay.
not just to the algorithms,
Hmm.
but to the humans who are ultimately making the decisions.
Okay.
Connect the dots.
Okay.
Show how your experiences and your perspectives
Mhm.
have prepared you for this specific role.
Okay. So like, for example.
Let's say you volunteered at a pharmacy
Okay.
in an underserved community.
Mm-hmm.
During your studies,
Okay.
that experience speaks volumes about your commitment
Right.
to healthcare equity,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that's so important in academia today.
Totally.
So weave that story into your application,
Hi.
into your interview answers.
Yeah.
Let them see your passion,
Right.
your empathy, your dedication to making a real-world impact.
It's about going beyond the bullet points
Yes.
on your CV
100%.
and revealing the person behind the credentials.
Remember those thought-provoking questions
Yes.
from the career guide
Yeah.
we were talking about earlier?
Right.
Use those as opportunities to showcase your critical thinking skills,
Yeah.
your teaching philosophy,
your commitment to creating an inclusive and engaging learning environment.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher
Yes.
to help you fine-tune those applications.
And practice those interview answers.
There you go.
It's like having a secret weapon
It can feel like that.
in your arsenal.
It's a tool, but it's a powerful tool
Yeah.
when used effectively.
Right.
Ultimately, the most important thing is to be authentic,
Okay.
be prepared, and be persistent.
I like it.
The path to becoming a pharmacy lecturer.
It's rarely linear,
Right.
but with the right combination of passion, dedication, and maybe a little help from some AI-powered tools.
You can achieve your goals and make a real difference in the world.
That is a fantastic note to end on.
Thank you so much for taking this deep dive with me.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And for all of you out there ready to trade those prescriptions for professorships,
Remember, your unique perspective and passion are your greatest assets.
now go out there and inspire the next generation of pharmacists.